Hey, welcome to another episode of the Edufuturists podcast. It's good to be with you. There's just the three of us tonight. We haven't got a guest. We've decided that we are going to have a little bit of a chinwag and talk about our exciting event that's coming up on the 4th of May, the Edufuturist Uprising. But before we get into that, lads, good week. Anything interesting? I know that you've been away, Steve, and doing some pretty exciting stuff, haven't you?
No,
since last time we recorded.
No,
have you not? Have you not been at Digifest, or was that last time? I don't know.
Last week, but no, I'm on the road tomorrow. Travel in Manchester with some 140 universities.
On the road?
Yeah.
On the road again.
Yeah. I say I'm on the road. I'm not on the road. I'm getting a train because I don't want to drive on the M62. It's horrific. So
where we're going though, lads, we don't need roads.
I don't think we do. But yeah, so I'm over in Deansgate in Manchester tomorrow afternoon, Thursday, Friday. So it should be good.
Good.
I'm looking forward to it. Dan, you're not in the country, are you? Are you flying out somewhere?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, just 24 hours. Quick trip to Netherlands. Should be good.
Oh, it doesn't sound as Tulsa, does it?
Doesn't sound as what?
Good as Tulsa.
Tulsa?
24 hours from Tulsa.
Wow. Or 24 hours in police custody or in A&E. Either. But 24 hours. So you're going to the Netherlands, Dan. What are you doing out
there? Delivering a keynote at they've got a ChatGPT in secondary education conference in Rotterdam. So should be good. Doing a keynote and I think a practical session as well, like a workshop as well. So yeah.
Nice. Interesting that we could have made another reference to a 90s pop song, Rotterdam. Sung by who? Anybody?
Beautiful South.
Beautiful South.
Yeah, Beautiful South. Yeah, indeed. But you're right to Rotterdam. That sounds good. Sounds interesting and exciting. I've been doing quite a lot of one-to-one coaching sessions actually this week, looking at digital marketing and content creation in small businesses. So that's been a lot of fun. And I've got a few more of them coming up, and but we've been busy beavering away in the background, aren't we? Talking about what's going to be happening on the 4th of May, Star Wars Day. Emails landed this week, so depends when you're listening, but the week that we recorded this, emails landed out to our shortlist for our Edufuturists Awards that are going to be announced at the Uprising. So we're pretty much excited about that. I'm going to talk about that today, and also talk about some of the stuff that you can expect if you are going to be joining us. And if you're not joining us, why are you not joining us? You should do. Uprising.edufuturists.com. You can book your tickets. Last call for merch, I think, is we've got about a month left before you can't order any other merch to guarantee that it's going to be ready for the event, so you can wear it. We can all wear it like a uniform, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Or not?
This is have you seen the Oscars interview with? Have you seen the Oscars interview with Hugh Grant?
Oh yeah, where he talks about Vanity Fair and the woman had no clue about it. That one.
And then she says, "What are you wearing?" He says, "A suit." Oh no, she says, "Who are you wearing?" He's like, "It's just my suit." And he gives her a funny look and walks away.
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
The Oscars happening here. This is not rolling like it normally does. Are we all tired? What's going on? Normally we do it on a Thursday night. This is during the day.
It is. We've changed the day, and it's just like mixes up a little bit, hasn't it? It's just got us into a little bit of a different routine. Yeah. So yeah, exciting stuff happening. Looking forward to people joining us at that event. We've had lots and lots of stuff happening on socials and people talking about it. So yeah. Lads, we called it the Uprising. Why Uprising? Why do we think that's important? And don't talk about all the other names that we all suggested, because I know that everybody get upset when I use the word gathering, or we use what other words did we use? Party conference. I think we had other silly names as well, didn't we? So Uprising. What we're trying to achieve?
Steve was a big proponent of Uprising, so maybe you should start this one, Steve.
I was against it. And then, as always, like the logo and everything else, I came in and it was already agreed. So I just went along with it. That's kind of like the normal stuff where I just turn in and go, "Have we got a new logo? Is this happening? Have we agreed this?" So I think I do like the name. It has grown on me, but it definitely wasn't something I would have pushed. But to be fair, I think did we spend maybe 5 hours trying to go through the title?
I think it was probably even longer than that. We back and forth loads and loads of times with loads of different things.
Always go to Ben's wife, and Ben's wife was like, "That's horrific. That's bad."
Yeah.
And that was the benchmark. And maybe this is the one that slipped through the net.
I didn't tell her.
All right.
I did really. She even liked a thing on Twitter once. So Uprising. It was.
I think it's fitting.
Definitely agreed on.
What we're trying to achieve in terms of like the collective, the community. We're trying to create a revolution, and sounds like the new Terminator. Was there a Terminator Uprising? It sounds like that kind of program.
Was there a Matrix Uprising? No, there wasn't. Was there? Terminator Uprising makes sense.
Maybe, but yeah, I like it now. It sounds much. Yeah, I like it. I think it's fitting. I think it's trying to what we achieve. We're trying to create an uprising, but actually, I was speaking to one of our judges. I don't think he'll mind me saying, Bob Harrison. Bob Harrison has been, and many of our people that we've had on the podcast have been, I say at this, but trying to force this change and the paradigm shift for many, many years. But it seems that maybe because we're living in it and we're involved in it so much that it seems like it is building momentum, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're trying to it was never about us. We come on a podcast and that's wonderful. We enjoy it and we do all this other stuff. Great. And some people say it might be to stroke our own ego, but really what we're trying to do is it was never about us. You know, the rubbish video, the leadership dance on YouTube, if everybody's ever seen it, we're trying to create this uprising or this movement, and it's never about the person who starts the dance. It's about the collective. And if you're dancing alone at a festival, drunk, it looks like you're just going, that drunk person who danced really terrible. What we're trying to create is a collective movement and the more people we get involved in the uprising and as a community, the better. We can't do it on our own in isolation or even as a free. I think we need hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah,
and that's the thing in it is we've used that hashtag Join the Revolution for the last ever many years, probably since some idiot stood on stage having drunk loads of Monster and Red Bull and put his fist in the air. But this idea of actually it just doesn't fit. Like education needs a shift. It needs an uprising. It needs to be something that's done. The power to the people stuff, and it's not like as in we're saying everybody that's in that education system or the education department and all that kind of stuff should be all thrown out. What we're suggesting is that we need a people movement to say enough's enough. We want to do something different, and that's what we're trying to I don't want to say lead, but certainly want to be involved in. And that phrase you talked about there in terms of where Bob and the others have been trying so hard to make this change. We are definitely standing on the shoulders of those giants as we jump into this now and are trying to make that happen. So it's an uprising. It's an uprising of the people. It's an uprising of ideas. Dan, you use that phrase quite a lot. That embracing the weak signals as well, don't you? So it's like an uprising towards those weak signals of a different type of education.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess I think it's long overdue, isn't it? We need to look at what the world needs, what our students need, and realize that. I think it comes back to that purpose. I don't know if we talked about that recently, a recent episode where it was just us, but that whole idea of what is education and why have it at all? Why have an education system? And I think if education is an end in itself, and I suppose as a former philosophy teacher, I understand that concept of education being an end in itself, and I think it's a virtuous thing. However, I don't think many people would agree that that's what the education system is for. The education system, and just using my own definition here, really, but I think the education system is to give our young people the most chances for success and happiness in the world. And I suppose when you think most people, if you take that to the next step, most people spend most of their days working.
Yeah.
And whether they're working for themselves, working for a company, it doesn't matter how they're working. So how can we allow them to be successful in that arena? Yeah. And in fact, if you even look at the other arena of people's lives, their personal lives. So if education's about making people successful and happy in their lives, then we've got personal life and all the skills that involves, and we've got work and life and all the skills and knowledge that involves. And actually, does the current education system prepare us? Does it prepare students for their personal lives? A lot of people would say no, because if you look at, it's that old adage, isn't it? Of, oh well, I learned algebra and Oxbow Lakes, but nobody taught me how to do my taxes or turn the cooker on or whatever. And it's very cliched, but I think there's that it keeps getting repeated because there's some truth in that.
Yep.
So if it's not preparing us for our kind of personal lives, and within that, the emotional intelligence that people need to have a relationship, have a family, and so on and so forth, but then also working lives, how to be successful in work. And I suppose the first thing you need to understand if you're going to prepare somebody for the world of work is the context of the world that people are going to be working in.
Yep, for sure.
And then what's actually going to be important, because that's, let's be frank as well, a lot of people like to shy away from the word money and wealth, but it might not bring utter happiness, but it's going to help along the way. It's part of what society deems as a successful career. And to be successful and earn as much money as you can, you need to have a special set of skills. As Liam Neeson would say, you need to have a certain amount of awareness. You need to have, again, social emotional skills. And does the education system actually do that? Because just falling back, and actually I hear this a lot and it really pisses me off, is that whole falling back into, well, it's not our job to prepare people for work, that's work's job. Like, seriously, I know I want to swear there. Like, well, if that's not what you're supposed to be doing, then bugger off. Because what are you doing? Just teaching them things for the sake of it.
Yep.
And then who decides if you're just teaching kids things for the sake of it, then it's about you. Like, at the end of the day, it's about what you.
Yep.
This is how I teach. This is what I want to do. This is my classroom. And and I've used this phrase so much recently, but it's that burying the head in the sand, not looking out of the school window and going, what's going on in the world? You've got your job, brilliant, fantastic. You've got your personalized planner for the year. You're feeling comfortable, but actually, what do the students in front of you need? Because do they need that curriculum? Is that curriculum actually going to have any importance in their lives? And actually, what is going to have importance in their life? And I think when we talk about a revolution, it's something more than just going, let's supplement education or let's add these things on. I think there's a core, the core of education needs to be revisited, and I think we're at a time where lots of people individually are starting to do that now.
I agree. I agree, and I think that idea of the mantle of the expert, and somehow you are that teacher expert, and then somehow you've got to pass that on, and the children have got to know this just for knowing's sake. And you use that phrase that we've heard quite a lot, which is that just in case learning as opposed to just in time learning. Like, we're not preparing students for a future or even a now. Like, and so as I'm hearing what you're talking about there, there's a real challenge that we have, because if we just teach because, or if we just have an education system that is just perpetuating what has been as opposed to what could be, then that's a problem. And I think that does need an uprising. That does need to say enough is enough. We have all got skin in the game. We've talked about this before. Our own children are skin in the game, and then eventually our grandchildren and whatever else that comes after us. There's a skin in the game, and we're not preparing students. We're not preparing young people for life and work. And you use that phrase there, Dan, and I think that's kind of why we've done the awards that we've done this year, in terms of that celebrating people who are equipping people for the world in which we'll live, work, and learn in the future. And that idea of it's not just about what they're going to go and do, the job they're going to do. And actually, that's probably because we've had a utilitarian setting, which is like somehow you do school that gets you into college, that gets you into university, that gets you into work. And it's always been that linear path. And so, because that's been the case, you only need to get them to the next stage. You don't need to think about the ultimate purpose, the kind of the goal, the end of these people. And to be honest, you're right. Interesting where you say that a lot of teachers don't say it's our job. It's not our job to teach them what they're going to need for work. But I think increasingly you hear people talking about that's not our job to teach them about how to live and what to do. That's not our place. And to be honest, that is part of a parent's job as well, isn't it? But it's that idea of we're thinking about students more than just being a cog in a societal machine that just play a part. They're individuals, and that's why we've done some of the interviews that we've done over the years in terms of character, in terms of holistic development, in terms of well-being, and we bothered about that kind of stuff rather than just can they use a computer, which is what a lot of people pigeonhole this kind of future education stuff into. We're thinking about the broad conversation, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. And if you think like probably one of the biggest factors, this won't be long, Steve. One of the biggest factors in happiness is your mental well-being, and actually, there's a big case to say that schooling actually adds to mental health problems, not actually alleviates it because of the pressures and the system that we put through students in. You just have to look at the statistics for rising child and teenage mental health issues. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And for what? For cramming as much knowledge into their heads as possible that 95% of it they'll never use.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you look at those rising things in regards to lost learning or whatever, or the fact that this learning is not appropriate, or the well-being stuff, anxiety, depression, mental health and well-being in young people, for a period of time, you could put it down. It was put down to the pandemic, wasn't it? People were staying at home. Well, let's be honest. It was never reviewed. It was never thought about that actually the education system was creating this issue because people were happy with the education system, or so many were. I think it's still been used as an excuse of, well, people have been stuck indoors and this is why they're struggling. And I disagree. Like I said, you put everybody through exactly the same exam system and see what chaos it causes. How stressed between the three of us were we to do our driving test? Imagine if actually at the age of...
Did you do a driving test, Steve, or were you riding horses?
Well, I said I needed a faster horse, not a car.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, though, is it? Because we talk about that, and I can't remember who said it, and apologies if I misquote it, but somebody said, well, ultimately, imagine on the same day, roughly around the same age, post your 16th birthday or whatever birthday, you'd be sitting in an exam because that's the time that we need you to test you. Imagine if everybody did the driving test, or everything was standardized in that way. Madness. Absolute madness. No wonder it's causing anxiety, because a lot of people aren't ready. They might be ready before it. There might be loads of, and they also know that it's weighted against many people that they probably won't ever achieve. And a lot of them are going in thinking, well, the best you can do. I don't know about you, but best in terms of my education system, and my education schooling, because I wasn't somebody who conformed and didn't enjoy the way it was structured. People would say, well, I'm going to put you on the lower paper or whatever it's called, or the intermediate rather than the higher paper. And the best you can hope for is this. I probably think that you're probably going to get a D. I remember it, D or lower, pretty much for every single one of my GCSEs. That was my expectations, or the expectations put in on me. And I didn't do much better, but I got 11 Cs. And I remember the day when I went in and my teachers just went, "You've surprised me there." And I was like, "Good surprise? Or is it, I was like, why do you seem annoyed that I've actually done okay? Maybe it's because I was a terror. But it's madness, isn't it? That they say, well, the expectation for that individual, it would always be the highest you can achieve is mediocrity or lower. What does that say to a person?
It does, and like we know that we talked about this in the newsletter. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter.edufuturists.com, and you'll get every Saturday morning. But obviously, we talked about that, and Dan, I think one of the articles Dan wrote about was about a third of we're failing a third of our students because they fail English and maths every year, and it's almost like we're creating this bell curve of this mediocrity, this. We're accepting that some people are going to fail, and actually, what we're going to do is going to perpetuate that failure by making them resit it until time immemorial. I told you about my brother done it over 20 times, done his GCSE maths over 20 times, and still hasn't passed it. And it's just like it's just ridiculous that we just expect children and young people to just accept that mediocrity. And I think one of the things that we've had the privilege of over the last 5 years to think about really is there is a different way. There is a different way, and when we're not saying there is a different way, actually there are different ways, probably plural. We're looking at a variety of different things. It doesn't just need to be one size fits all. Every classroom needs to be the same. We need to celebrate that difference. We need to celebrate the diversity, and we need to celebrate in education. But we also need to celebrate the diversity in people, and to celebrate that. So yeah,
and we've talked about it often that way in terms of our awards, that sometimes changing everything and doing a revolution for an organisation, an individual, or a structure can feel like kind of an elephant. And kind of what we're trying to celebrate is there's some great stuff where whole organizations have made seismic changes, or some of the online schools have completely rewritten the rule book and done things differently. But actually, some of them are just showing how you can eat an elephant a leg at a time. Like, some of the schools, some of the organizations, some of the people, they've not completely got rid of everything, and they still have GCSEs and they still do certain stuff, but they've got some really exciting projects, and it's great to celebrate that and show and demonstrate what steps can be taken and the footprints that can be followed and the new paths that can be created to this revolution. That it's not just its iteration at the time, but I think that's what we're trying to achieve, and this is why we showcase it, to say, look, this is what's already happening in the UK in favour of field. Let's follow these people. Let's see how it goes, and we've been doing that for 5 years. You guys did it for a year before I joined, and that's what we've been doing on a regular basis now. And I think it's great to see that some of those schools are still doing really, really well and excelling 5 years on, when people would say, well, that'll never work. Well, 5 years in, they're still doing amazing stuff. So it must work.
Agreed. Agreed.
Should we talk about for those people that might not know, the different categories that we've got? Do they know exactly when the award is? I know you've mentioned the where, who, what, when, how, everything.
For sure. We've been really fortunate as well that a group of businesses have decided to partner with us on this as well. So we'll talk about them, and we'll talk about what we're trying to achieve in each one of those. So I suppose as a big massive shout out, thank you, and just a recognition to Signing Up, who are a headline sponsor. They do a lot of work in the visitor management system in schools and colleges, and obviously helping keep people safe, but trying to cut down on workloads for staff as well, which is a huge thing. So they're headline sponsoring, partnering with us for the event on the 4th of May. Yeah, I think I mentioned Star Wars Day earlier. 4th of May, 7 p.m. It's going to be an evening thing. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a bit of fun. In fact, we wrote a nice little thing the other day, which was we said it's an event for those who know it can be better, and this is what we've just been talking about for the last 20 odd minutes. Who are doing better, who are leading the way. And then this phrase that we use, if any of these sound like you, then we welcome you to join us for an evening of friendship, ideas, and affinity, and probably a bit of beer as well. If you do want a beer with us, you don't feel like you have to drink with us, but if you want to drink with us, we will definitely enjoy that. So we're gonna gather for that Uprising and do the event. So yeah, we're really pleased to be partnering with Signing Up for that, and then we've got a number of different categories as well, haven't we? So Signing Up are obviously sponsoring our headline Edufuturist of the Year. award, and that Edufuturist of the Year is an individual who is shaping the future of education through their leadership and innovation. That's what we are looking for, and there's some wonderful people in that category. The nominees were made known of this. If they didn't read their emails, they might be listening to this for the first time and finding out they're a nominee. Well done. They're highly commended. These people have all won highly commended already. So I've got that list up here. So we've got the wonderful Al Kingsley from Net Support. We've got Nav Ahmed. We've got Sarah Previtt. And we've got Priya Lakhani as our highly commended in the Edufuturists of the Year category. So well done to everybody there. And obviously the winner will be announced at the event on the 4th of May.
Yeah. Up next, so we're excited that we're getting to do this one again. I think, is this the second year we've done it? Or was it the third year?
Third year.
So we've got University of the Year, and we've got some great nominees here, and those who've received highly commended. So we've got UCLan, who are up again. Have UCLan been nominated before for university?
Yeah, I think they might have won year one actually. UCLan. Yeah.
Sorry, my memory's shocking.
They
But yeah,
they might not have done if you didn't win. Sorry. Some time ago.
Thanks for anybody who, if you know if UCLan have been nominated or won previously, if you could let us know, that would be absolutely wonderful.
If you can send it via carrier pigeon to. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, so they have been Arizona State University, so international highly commended university there, Arizona State, UA 92, and Beit Bell College as well. So we've got some really good, strong contenders there for University of the Year, and that is being sponsored by
Surpass. Yeah, so it's great to have Surpass joining us again as a sponsor and partner for University of the Year. I know they're doing great work in that e-assessment world and championing that stuff. So thank you, Surpass, for joining us. And yeah, we're looking forward to that one. Steve, have you got the next one up?
Yeah, FE colleges, something that's we've all been involved in, something close to all of our hearts. I think this year, none of our ex or current employees are actually up, which is always nice. I know we don't have the vote, and there's a judging panel and the public vote, but it's always thinking, how vying behind Leeds last year, I'll be honest. And we just
behind Burnley and they didn't win either.
Yeah. But great to see Wolverhampton winning last year, and Conrad, a good guy that we've known for quite a few years. But yeah, College of the Year, or FE College of the Year has been sponsored by Hundo. Really happy to have them involved this year. Trying to change the world of what a flat personal statement and CV looks like, doing it on blockchain. I remember this episode. Dan was the most alert I've ever heard him in the last few weeks. Dan's been heavy in terms of writing and everything else, but it was a fascinating one, trying to think about avatars, but also the decentralization, the ownership being with the student in terms of their qualification, short courses, modular credentials, all those kind of things, which is fascinating. But the highly commended categories, whole college, we've got a big contingent. We've seen people signing up after our shortlisting to Hull. I'll be travelling over from the East Coast across to Leeds on the 4th of May. We've got Coleg Sir down in the south of Wales. We've got Darlington College from the northeast, and then we've got Heart of Worcestershire College that have pioneered their blended learning consortium, and some great work that's been done by those 4 colleges. So yeah, excited for that one, and that is going to be really competitive, I think, when for the judging voting and when the public vote comes out in this week or next week.
Yeah, very much so. And we've got a new category next up that we haven't had before, but we thought, based on some of the wonderful work that is happening in multi-academy trusts, that we want to recognise them as well. So this next award is Mat of the Year, sponsored by Transformative, a new business really who are doing work to support multi-academy trusts across the UK. So Johnny and Lisa and the team there are doing great work. So again, thank you for partners with that. So the multi-academy trusts that are up for highly commended already and are in with a chance of becoming Mat of the Year 2023. We've got Academies Enterprise Trust, which is AET, Leo Academy Trust, down in the south. We've also got Lee Academy Trust, which is that's not Leo, that's Lee Academy Trust. So that could get confusing if we announce it badly. So Lee Academy Trust, they're up in the north, which is exciting. And then we've got ATC, Achievement Through Collaboration Trust.
I think Lee Academy's in the south.
No, Lee's in the north. I'm sure it is. Warrington, Wigan and Lee. Oh, it's the two.
Leon C is in Essex. Then there's Lee.
It's Leon C.
Well.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
never
mind.
I believe.
Never mind. Yeah. Okay.
It's even more complex that they might be quite near each other in terms of geolocation. But
yeah, never mind. Well, anyway, well done you four for being highly commended. AET, Leo, Lee, and ATC. We're looking forward to celebrating with you.
Yeah, and up next is primary school. Secondary school.
Dan, what? Let's just call it out. Dan, what are you doing during this podcast? What are you writing? Are you reading?
Just catching up with some ironing.
Oh yeah. He keeps going. What does that thing? I thought you were vaping, Dan. I thought you were vaping.
He keeps doing this.
I have to keep muting when I press the steam button really loud. Secondary school of the year. First one, local one to me, XP Gateshead. So I know XP in Doncaster have been nominated, and XP as an organisation as a whole have been in the past, but this is a good one. So XP in Gateshead, one of their newest schools, doing an amazing job for the community. We have got Leratre RC Girls School. Yeah. And Cramlett and Learning Village, another Northeast one. Northeast leading the way here. And Denby High School as well. So those four have been highly commended for Secondary School of the Year. And Secondary School of the Year is sponsored by
Net Support. Again, coming back 4 years on the trot, Net Support have partnered with us. We're very, very grateful to the team there for partners with Secondary School of the Year. Next up.
Just to clarify, if anybody sees Dan with an iron mark on any of his shirts or jumper, just don't worry about it. He's fine. He's just multitasking. He's picking up the tasks that chat can't do for him. But yeah, so primary school, I guarantee. Let me have a look at this category. There'll be some big words in here that I'll trip myself up on. I know it. Working with in Ireland, I often come across words like as, is, the, and that I can't pronounce. But first one up is Willowbrook. The second one up is Gersha School. And the third is Hartsholme. And the final one is Atelier, I believe. And that's sponsored by Learning by Questions. Again, a partner and a sponsor that's been with us for quite a few years now. And you know, we talk about this movement, don't we? They were with us on the first year, Ben.
Sorry.
You're scrolling. Remember the book, Learning by Questions?
How can you tell? People who were listening would have never known that if you hadn't said out.
I was like, have I made an error? No, they've been there with us since the beginning, and I think whether they've been with us every year or come back to us, I think that's the strength of what we're trying to achieve. That we're not only trying to change a movement, but we're backed by partners, sponsors that see what we're trying to achieve. That's beyond return on investment of, how many people can I pitch to? That's never been the conversation. How many people can I sell to? No, that's not the conversation. We're trying to create a movement, and we're trying to create partnerships and sponsorships of people who are trying to celebrate us, support us, to support the movement and the transformation that's happening.
For sure, and they've always championed us in the background, even if they haven't been officially with us at events as well. So yeah, thank you to Pete Lee and the team, Heather and the team over at Learning by Questions. Next up, we've got another new category. I think that's my job this time to announce new categories. We've got Outstanding Online School of the Year, which is partnered with Extraordinary Collective. Thanks, Angela, and the team over there, who are doing some great work in terms of developing skills and doing some online work particularly in the Liverpool City region, but more broadly than that as well. So the four highly commended in this category are Activate Learning, are Sora Schools, are Kidato, and Eton X. So a strong lineup there in the Outstanding Online Schools. Dan,
Yeah, and this one is our award for skills. Yeah, this is sponsored by Canopy.
Yes.
So yeah,
Well done, Dan. Well done, Dan. Is that on the
That
back
was
of the iron?
the guess, their complete guess that as well.
We are so professional, guys.
No, of course, who else would it be? Canopy been with us for a while now, sponsoring this award or versions of this award. Doing a fantastic job training the world at the moment on Google Skills and all that goes with it. So yeah, first one up is Anna Thorpe. So Anna, Darren White as well. So some of you might know from Twitter, and just had a recent book out called
What's their why?
What's Their Why? So yeah, grab that.
I'm not ironing, guys. I'm listening.
Neil Burrows. And
Well done, Buzz from Burnley College. That's a Burnley College shout out, that one. So well done, Buzz.
Nice. And David C.M. Carter.
Brilliant.
Then we have Innovative Project, a new category for this year. I think it's always a thing where we looked at it, didn't we, the categories this year? We did do a refresh and we considered, right, you know, we've had nothing taken away from, we've had IT managers and professionals and those kind of things, but we kind of reviewed and we had a discussion about the impact, not only of the award, but also the amount of people that could be applicable to each one. And we've never had an individual teacher category. So to have a specific category for a person or a role, we thought just needed a bit of a review. And actually, IT managers, loads of different variations of people or roles can be applicable to the project. That can be collective, one person. And yeah, we're really excited for this. And Learnosity as the partner and the award sponsor for this one. And the great work they're doing around behind the scenes. It's one of those things where you might not have heard the platform, but I guarantee you will have used it with because so many different platforms, VLEs, and everything else do work off the back of it. So it's a great tool. In this category, we've got NCG, we've got Portsmouth Education Partnership, we've got Body Swaps and Meta, and some great work being done there. And then we've got Meet Eric as the final. Highly commended in that category, and again, it's going to be a wonderful competitive categories that one this year.
For sure, yes. And our final official one that we've got lots of people commended for is our wellbeing champion. Again, this one we're doing this in partnership with Six Connections, the guys Dave and Andy that are doing wonderful work around mental health and wellbeing. In businesses, but also in education, and it's been sponsored by the Plus 24 Academy. I do a little bit of work with them, and they agreed that they would want to sponsor this one and partner with Six Connections for this one. And we've got 4 big hitters in this category as well. So we've got Claire Tamplin, who's the mindful movement coach. Is the first highly commended. Then we've got Lee Parkinson, Mr. PICT. You'll probably, if you follow anybody on Twitter or Facebook, you'll probably see Mr. P. Then we've got John McGee, the kindness coach. He's very heavily involved with Rise magazine and the team down there as well. And then we've got actually this one is for 2 people, which is Kirsten Comley and Susie Goodson from Tell Me, the Tell Me app, which is doing a lot of work to address the mental health crisis and health inequalities for young people. So they're the main ones, but we are going to be announcing another big one, aren't we, Dan? The one that we're excited to bring somebody in as well. Yeah, one of our annual awards, which we're really proud to give out every year, is the Outstanding Achievement Award, and we'll reveal who that is in good time. But we're really happy to have last year's winner of the Outstanding Achievement Award join us in person in Leeds, and to give out the award to the new winner, and that will be Sagarta Mitra, so the winner from last year. Sagarta, who is a world-renowned TEDx speaker on education, invented the hole in the wall experiments in India in the 90s, and just an all-round edufuturist, really, in his outlook, and not just in his outlook, but in his practice and what the
the courses he does and the work he does with schools. So it'd be great to have him in person. I think we're catching him at just the right time because he spends a third of his year in India, a third of his year in California, and then a third of his year in Gateshead.
Who would do that?
In fact, just around the corner from where XP are. So it'll be great to have him join us for that. And I know a lot of you listening, a lot of people attending will be massive fans of the legend that is Siddhartha Mitra. So come along and meet the guy in real life.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to shout about ourselves, but I think we spend a lot of time behind the scenes trying to get the event going, work with partners, planning and staging and everything else. But we love it. We think it's so worthwhile. But nothing works if when we put the public nomination out, we normally have thousands and thousands. Every year it seems to go up in terms of, and it's only one vote. So it's not the be all and end all, but it's so important that if you've got friends, family, colleagues, organisations that you work in that are nominated and in the highly commended categories that we've just talked about, get voting, but also sign up. Let's celebrate them on the night. I'm sure it'll be absolutely rammed. And standing room only because we're not having seats because we want to do it a bit rogue and the venue is so quirky. They have like back to basics and Nikes and stuff like that rather than just a standard award ceremony. We're trying to be cutting edge and edgy because none of us are. But come along, book your tickets, Ben. It's uprising.edufuturists.com. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, you can go book your tickets. You can get your merch from there as well.
Yeah, get your merch. Sign up early. We're hoping it'll sell out well in advance of the event itself. But come and if somebody you know has been commended or win or anything else, let's get them celebrated on the night. It'll be a good laugh. I'm really looking forward to it. Good night out and good drinks, good banter, and lots of celebrating the revolution and the future of education and everything in between. Plenty of opportunity to meet people, chat, and connect.
And there's loads of stuff in there as well that we've not got time to mention this in this episode. We'll be talking about like different people sharing their stories of innovation and the things that they're doing to push that envelope. We've got loads of people that are going to be we're going to be talking about and launching some of our own stuff in terms of the Edufuturist community and some of the stuff that we're seeing coming forward for the future as well. So yeah, watch this space on that stuff. We are loving it. We're really grateful for the partners. Let's mention that again. And C Learning are obviously sponsoring that Outstanding Achievement Award. So it's fantastic to be able to partner with these companies, a good number of whom have been back year after year after year to work with us. So we're really grateful. This doesn't happen without our partners. So once again, a massive thank you there. But as well, all those highly commended, those 40 people that are highly commended in those categories, super well done already. And we look forward to celebrating with you on the 4th of May. As Darren White would say, that would mean that Star Wars Day is going to be extra special that year. Well, that week.
And it's cemented and right between two May bank holidays. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah. So we can celebrate King Charles. And do a toast. Look at the dog. Let's not
worry about that. Let's just worry about the Thursday, the 4th of May, being the kickoff of a long weekend that you get off outside of education. We work really, really hard. You'll have the Monday off anyway. Make it a short week. Book the weekend with loved ones and friends up in the north of England, Leeds. It's a great city. And take the Friday off. Get hammered on the Thursday. Have a long weekend to recover and get back to it on Tuesday. Come and enjoy it and celebrate and have a laugh with us. Looking forward to it.
Nice one, boys. Thanks for that. Have a great week, everybody. I look forward to seeing you, speaking to you, listening to you very, very soon.
1